There we go. Almost loaded in. Alright. Slow load. Did we break it? I hope we didn't break it.
Well, I'm gonna scroll.
The music's always great. Come
on the bare bones of the earth. I'm gonna dig my heels into the ground.
Well, shoot.
'Cause when that ferryman comes,
all right.
For to tally
Well,
up my
let's
word.
reload the game, right? Rip. Great start for that. All right, back in. Here we go. All right, now we're loaded in. So we are, back around Tallahassee. It looks like one of our stories has grown. A bunch of the people that we met were going further west, and so we wanted to go south first along the coast before we started going deeper into the country, because we want to expand our stories a little bit before we meet some of the folks we've talked to. So, these folks we've met, our stories grow when we tell them to them. Most of it is like the same sort of prompts that just feed our stories back in and they come back to us bigger and crazier. But since it's not narrated, I'll do a few before we get back into the swing of things. This kindly old man sharing the shade under the bridge with you tells a few rambling stories, some true-seeming, some conspicuously less so. All true, he assures you. There's history in this place, going all the way back to Indian times. Strange stuff happens around here. I mean, it can't all be true. Sure it is, he scoffs. Then, as if to prove himself right, he launches into a story about the Leatherman, who has walked a route across Connecticut for 200 years. And this one, it's the story of the Leatherman whose ghost haunts Connecticut, but wilder and stranger than you remember. Hey, I know that one. See, then? So I ain't pulling your leg. It's all true. Now, the weird thing about the Leatherman story is it's a ghost story, but everybody seems to find it to be a really funny ghost story, except me. It's a weird one, right? Anyway, we've been out down the coast. We've gone through Florida. We're up in the Panhandle. We're in Tallahassee here. Let's see. I think we were planning on taking a highway north. Let's, All right, here we go. Yeah. We wanted to take that center highway through Georgia. So, since we don't have any destinations, we'll whistle to make our hike a little faster. But yeah, we were going to take a highway north through Georgia and explore a little deeper inland. I figure we might as well be kind of systematic about our approach until we have a better idea of what we're doing. Where's that road? Hey, that's 17. That's... Huh. 17 was the way we came down. We're looking for a road that points back north. And I'm not seeing it, but maybe we just keep going this way until we find something. Oh, let's check our map now. Well, it says that we've already passed it, so maybe it's not a well-developed highway. But anyway, that's Atlanta. And that seems like as good a thing to go to as any, right? We could hop a train in the rail yard and get ourselves beat up again, which is probably not one of my goals, but we can do it. What do we got out here in Atlanta? All right, well, we're full up on our needs, so we don't really need money. Let's explore.
You find yourself in a poker game on the 3rd floor of the Winecoff Hotel. Sometimes these things just happen.
Well, the last poker game we were in did not go well for us. I believe we lost all of our skin and our freedom and ended up indentured to a wolf who might be the devil.
The man with the burned face to your left, he never gave his name, growls at the smiling man seated on your right. You ain't got the stomach. I killed men for lessons in that pot. Smiler plays on and takes the hand. The burned man bares his teeth. This hand comes down to the burned man and Smiler. Walk away, boy, says the burned man. Smiler drops his grin. I ain't your boy, Roy. Roy's eye twitches. Smiler outplays Roy again, and a new hand comes around.
What's our cards?
You've got an okay hand. Not a world beater, but not nothing.
Well, last time we pressed our luck, things worked badly. Let's play cautiously.
You play your hand well and push Smiler into folding. You scrape a good number of chips into your pile. Roy's preoccupied and has to be nudged into dealing. You finally hit a decent hand.
You know, last time we overplayed it and we lost our soul, but you get a hand like this, what are you gonna do? Not overplay it? Let's make it count.
Roy is still staring at Smiler. What'd you say your name was? I didn't, but it's Jackson. Jackson, repeats Roy. I knew a Jackson once. There's a fierce look in Roy's eye. You played it just right. You take the hand and the lion's share of the chips on the table. Smiler cusses. Roy cashes out and slips away. You play a few more rounds, but that hand practically sewed up the game. As you leave the hotel, you smell smoke. You cross the street and look up. Flames have engulfed the 3rd floor, where you played the game. The fire spreads hungrily. People are leaning out of windows on the floors above, but you can't see any way to help.
Well, damn, we are leaving a lot of pain in our wake, huh? All right. Well, let's see. There's something off in the distance. It looks like a story, and maybe a story that's growing. Oh, and there's stuff up that road too. Well, shoot, we can't do it all. Let's hitchhike up toward Chattanooga here. I think this was sort of our original plan, or at least closely resembles it. Head back into Tennessee.
Going down to the river, gonna cleanse my soul. Going down to
And Merry Christmas to any of y'all where it's still Christmas. And if you don't celebrate, then I hope you've had a wonderful December the 25th and a happy Rusev
Electric
Day.
lamps stipple the cotton field before you with an orange light, moving like a group of lethargic fireflies. From the field, the voices of the workers reach you in a soulful, united song.
I mean, Yedway, if you can't eat like a moron on Christmas, then when can you, right? I broke my diet for 2 days. It's fine.
You're gently lulled to sleep as the song floats over you. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale of cotton. Hello, Lordy, pick a bale a day. You're pulled out of your slumber by a woman's pained scream and a collection of shouts rising from the field.
Seems like it'd be wrong to not figure out what that noise is.
The woman's screams taper off, soon replaced by the raw cries of an infant. Applause briefly fills the night, eventually fading back into song. Oh, Lordy. You wake up to the gentle crescendo of the worker's song, unsure if it ever ceased at all.
Well, we lost a little bit of sleep, but I think we witnessed the birth of a child. That's kind of cool, right? What do we got over here?
You emerge from the underbrush and find yourself at the edge of a field. A farmhouse sits at the other end. Close by, large family is tending to the plants together. They pause and regard you, almost nervously.
Hello there?
The grandmother asks. The family is almost too nice to you. When you ask for water, they don't even let you walk to the pump by the house. A child runs back to the shed for a folding chair, and they serve you lemonade in a glass among the lettuce heads.
That is very kind.
Halfway through your glass, you notice someone moving furtively down by the house. The cuffs of his white shirt are stained red. The father sees your look and shifts to block your view. His eyes are bright, and his teeth are bared in something like worry. How do you like your lemonade?
I like it like somebody who did not just witness a murder, sir.
His wife arrives with a bag full of sandwiches for you, and the whole family ushers you back into the woods, waving, wishing you well. You take one look back over your shoulder. The man by the wall is gone.
None of my business. We'll head up to that hobo camp and then up to Nashville. Oh wow, they even have regional borders, the South and the Midwest. It apparently ends right at the northern border of Tennessee. Who knew? I didn't. Althea, we haven't met Althea.
I wanted to be the best blues singer in the world. By God, I was. I was born a poor girl in Memphis, Tennessee. No father, he run out. No mama either. She was there, but she weren't there really. All alone but for my Uncle Richard, my baby brother Marcus. All alone but for the guitar. Ooh, how about a story about the dark and scary things in the world?
We got stories like that, Althea. Let's tell about the Jersey Devil. I like that story.
Oh, that's a scary one.
Oh, wow. All right, well, we just won right there.
I got stories about sadness. Something in my mama just broke when my father left. Couldn't get her to eat most days, let alone feed me and my brother. I'm in the mood for a good, hopeful story. You got any?
Well, I don't want to just leave, but I don't want to waste good stories on her either. I think the best thing we can do with this is feed her stories that haven't grown in the telling, so we can see how she reacts to them. We can get a better idea of what kind of stories they are, and, you know, circulate them to grow. So, we know about those ones. We don't know what the seance is, but I don't think it's going to be hopeful. Let's talk about the metal worker in the company house by St. Petersburg, the guy who's organizing the Bible meetings where we talk about communism, where we learn about James 5:1.
It's good to light the darkness every once in a while.
All right, communism's hopeful.
Don't have much truck with faith. Only time I ever went to church, it was to hear that gospel choir sing. Ooh, now I'm in the mood for a story with a bit of that tragedy to it.
All right, what do we got that's sad? The grave robbers, that was considered a sad story. But that one's grown a bit. The man on Miami Beach despairing about the future, that was a sad story. And it can grow a little bit.
Oh, now, that pain. Don't believe what anyone promises you about the future. I signed a contract. I thought it was to lead to fame and glory. But it was a lie. Ooh, you got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
I'm curious about the girl with the strange stones. I don't think that's an exciting story, but I want to see what she reads it as. It was weird as hell. Whoa, well,
you know
all right,
some
it is
wild
exciting.
ones. I like that.
That was the girl that gave us, like, rainbow-colored stones, and we dropped them to the ground, and they all turned black.
Home. Sometimes home speaks to you. But I felt like a foreigner after Uncle Richard died. I dreamed all night of running away with my brother, discovering we were African royalty, little prince and little princess. I'm in the mood for a good, hopeful story.
I mean, I think we've given you enough to tide you over for the night. We're gonna cut out the.
Sun is up. One more night gone. I need to be going. If you want to hear more about the deal I made, you can look for me up the road this way.
All right, well, we haven't been to Alabama yet.
I was
At
about
least not
25
much.
when I left my first record contract. No more richer than I was before. Those men took me around like a freak show. Me and my guitar, my sad songs. I didn't know what to do once I was free again.
See, I remember last time we talked about freedom comes up in this a lot. Different meanings and different ideas about what freedom is. Hers is going to be quite a bit different from some other
Drinking my
folks.
sorrows. That's where the devil found me.
I wonder if the devil in her case is literal or if it's a metaphor. We'll find out more as we talk with Althea later, I'm sure. We haven't been to the Midwest, though. What do we got in Nashville before we head there? We got money, we're doing fine. Let's explore.
From the windows of the store, you can hear a radio, turned all the way up, tuned to the Grand Ole Opry show being played across town. Two young girls sit outside listening to the music. Suddenly, it cuts off, and they howl in protest.
Well, I care more about people than what's in a store, so let's talk to them.
Despite their obvious vexation, neither of the girls seems inclined to enter the store to see why the broadcast ceased. They seem to be preparing to leave on their bikes. When you approach, one says,
Don't bother. Always stops exactly this time, every week.
Always?
The other one matter-of-factly says,
That's when he died.
before you can ask anything else, they've ridden away. The window is so grimy you can barely see through the glass. But it's obvious there's nothing to see anyway. It's dark and and empty. There's certainly no radio, nor any people. Just a lot of sad dust, marked where the furniture used to stand. Old memories, carted away.
So a ghost with a ghost of a radio pulls current radio broadcasts until he dies again. That's something. Calling it the music haunted store certainly sounds more enticing than how I described it. Let's see, looks like the road is only pulling traffic the opposite way. That's fine. I haven't heard this song before. I wonder if it changes by region or something. That would be neat. Louisville, Kentucky. Oh, it's that one song, just a different type. I hit this river crossing here. Got a song that's grown in telling. The waitress at this diner is sharing an outlandish tale with one of her regulars. I heard it from my sister-in-law, she says. Happened to her daughter's friend. It's true. Have you heard this one before? A story about the man who swam into the ocean to escape his troubles. Halfway through, you realize this is the story of the man on the beach in Miami, despairing about the future, +2, but highly embellished. What do you think about that? Well, that's an interesting tale. Sure is. True, every word of it. Huh. Well, that one's gonna get as strange, I can tell.
The man lowers his paper as you come near. His weather-beaten face is drawn. They say it's spreading. The dust is strangling the land. Half my cattle suffocated in the last storm. We cut open the carcasses to salvage the meat. They were filled with mud.
I'll be damned. I feel like we've got enough stories under the tower. I don't know what suit this one is, so let's sympathize.
He licks his cracked lips. They stay dry. His land is dying. If the harvest fails again, people will too. You look past him, over his dust-choked fields. You can't imagine anything growing here.
Can't you move away?
Where would we go?
My family came here for a fresh start. All we have is our claim.
His voice is hoarse. We came here when there was no more work back home. Now this. If we leave, it'll just be something else. Your skin prickles gently, though the sky is still clear.
Duster's on its way. Big one.
He calls after you.
Come by in a week. I doubt there'll be a building left standing.
That's pretty brutal. Huh.
The Twisters touch down in a cornfield, fence posts flying in its wake. A huge black stallion charges toward the tornado. On its back, the cowboy whips his lasso through the churning air, nearly matching the Twister's speed. His wild laughter carries on the wind.
Well, this story's already starting strange.
God damn it, Bill!
Another man hollers, clapping his hands to his hat to keep it from flying off.
Quit being a damn fool!
The man on the horse turns toward him and flashes a beatific grin before digging his heels harder into the horse's flanks.
Well, damn if I'm not watching that.
His Stetson goes flying, caught by a gust. He doesn't seem to notice. He barks a single yee-haw as he stands in the stirrups, leaning into the whirlwind. In a moment, man and beast are enveloped in the storm. All you can hear is Bill's wild laughter.
I think we just watched a man kill himself and his horse. Sounds a little more exciting and romantic than that, but I think that's sort of the large and small of it, right?
A woman waits while a man in a truck fills 2 of her buckets with scoops of whitish powder from a bin. She sees you staring.
Want to make some cash?
She calls. She takes you up the drive to her farmhouse, where her son and daughter are mixing something in a metal barrel.
Locust bait.
She says,
Poison. The town bought enough for everyone, but we gotta mix it ourselves.
she'll pay you to help.
We don't need the money, but sure.
You use a broom handle to mix the poison with bran. The teens watch from the porch, faces frozen in distrustful scowls. Their mother pays you well, but later in the day you feel lightheaded, tingling pins and needles all over. You feel only a little better after you vomit.
Well, we got ourselves sick doing that, but sometimes that's how it works. So, woman and the kid in the soup line, stories growing in the telling. She starts telling you about the trickster who lures humans with magic stones. You recognize it as the story of the girl with the strange stones, but more outrageous than your version. Yeah, I know that story. Oh, cool. Interested to see what that'll become. In the meantime, let's hop back on the road and head towards Cincinnati. Heaven knows why we're making it out toward Ohio, but you know, we thought Jacksonville was going to be cursed too, and ended up walking a loop where we grew our stories like a zillion times in a few short minutes. I still don't know if that was intentional or like a weird glitch or what, but hell of a lot of stories grew.
The girl tilts her basket away to hide whatever is inside.
You want to see what I got? I'm not telling.
She raises her eyebrows, encouraging you to pry further. This girl is either very confident or too young to know shyness.
Well, if you want me to care what's in that basket, you're gonna have to try a little harder.
Oh, you're not being fun. It's really worth seeing.
She twists her lips to one side, mimicking a more adult, thoughtful gesture.
Tell you what, I'll show you what's in the basket if you do something for me.
Well, favors have gone badly for us lately, but we're right near a city. We can fill up on whatever we end up missing.
Excellent. I want you to kill my mother.
Oh!
She looks to check if you're paying attention,
Oh!
then points to a figure working at the other end of the field.
She's boring. She keeps making me work when I want to play.
I mean...
The girl bursts into peals of laughter. She doubles over the basket, laughing so hard she's barely able to stand. When she can speak again, she says,
You should have seen your face. You really should.
She beckons you over, shows you her basket.
All right. You're all right, kid. I think. I guess.
3 kittens snuggle up at the bottom. They're barely old enough to open their eyes.
Ma gave them to me for being good. I've called them Badb, Matcha, and Anand, after a story Nana told me.
She preens.
I'm very clever, you know.
Huh. Well, what's in Cincinnati here? Let's spend to improve our health. Get some scrambled eggs, sure. And then we can try to earn some money. Panhandling has been better to us. I mean, it's kind of been all or nothing, but work has kind of got us in trouble before, right? Yeah, okay. It looks like panhandling has worked well. So let's explore.
The corridors of Cincinnati's music hall reverberate with the sounds of an orchestra warming up for rehearsal.
If we unbolt the light rig, we can crush them,
Says a voice up ahead. No, another answers. Hiding Baldy's baton will be sufficient to stop the din. The tuxedoed men are slightly transparent. Mustachio on the right has his arms folded. The weaselly one on the left scowls. They start at your arrival.
I'm gonna undo those bolts.
Weasel feature vanishes into thin air.
Damn it all.
Says the other man.
Yeah, I feel like I'm confident they're ghosts. I don't need to ask them. Let's ask what they're up to.
We used to be members of the orchestra until, well, you know.
Yeah.
Patrick doesn't care for the new blood. It seems like talent died with us. So he does his damnedest to stop them playing. But I can't allow violence against fellow artists. Help me stop him.
Well, how do I stop a ghost?
With the right tool, you can banish them from the hall. You see, no spirit can stand the sound of the purest of all instruments.
Is the purest of all instruments the violin or the piano? I think it's the violin.
No.
Okay, well, piano or banjo? I think it's the banjo.
No.
The sousaphone or the piano? I think it's the sousaphone.
No.
The flugelhorn or the piano? I think it's the flugelhorn.
He shakes his head, exasperated.
No. The triangle.
Oh.
The orchestra has one, but their percussionist's a sop. He never hits it right. If you can get there, you can ensure the only thing brutalized here today is Chopin.
All right.
The orchestra is midway through practice. They're in dire need of it. The percussionist dozes on his stool. Everyone's oblivious to the muttering from the lighting rig.
I mean, rushing for the triangle is dangerous, but we don't want to... We've already got a story about just sitting there watching people die. A couple, really. That's kind of messed up. So let's try to save someone here.
You sprint down the aisle and elbow through the incensed musicians. The percussionist falls off his stool as you clamber over his xylophone. You grab the beater and bring it down onto the triangle, eliciting a pure, resounding note. And
I assume nothing happens because we're stopping a ghost. If it worked, nobody's gonna know that we saved their lives.
the rafters ring with laughter. The
Oh.
mustachioed ghost appears next to you, doubled over, invisible to the furious orchestra.
I never thought you'd fall for that. The triangle, for God's sake. Thanks for shutting them up, though.
Well, alright, we've had a few pranks played on us. But at least we got stories that are more obviously funny now. We could use some funny stories, right? Oh, hey, one of our stories has grown into telling again. We'll do that before we head... I don't know, where are we heading? I guess to Columbus and then back to the highway. So, waitress, sharing story at a diner. Story about the underground network of communist metal workers. Halfway through, you realize it's about the metal worker in the company house. Well, hell yeah. I want that one embellished as much as possible. That story's great. The communist metal worker who taught us about James 5:1 and about what happens to the fate of the selfish and wealthy. Another growing story. tiny motor mouth is eagerly sharing the details of a strange tale with her brother as they loiter outside this store. The boy listens raptly, eyes growing larger, mouth hanging open like a fish. She's telling him about the Thunderbirds who bring storms. Try to hide your surprise. It's the story of the storm generated by the gigantic bird. The version the girl must have heard is embellished to say the least, but hey, it's a good story. So we've got two stories about Thunderbirds. One's about Thunderbird people, and one's about a bird that makes storms. That's gonna get confusing.
Waits by the ruined mill, in an overcoat 2 sizes too big.
Look, over here. Look at this.
She yells.
This only happens once every 10 years, for Christ's sake.
She grabs your hand, and you both look at the black gear rolling west to cover the sun.
Now, normally I'd be against looking at straight an eclipse because that's bad for you, but we're a skeleton.
Steadily, the darkness draws across the sun until it is almost total. She clutches your hand tightly.
I've never seen this before. I've never seen this.
The sun, obscured, throbs and expands, raging against the night.
All right, let's not keep looking at it.
You know it's dangerous to do that. You avert your eyes and make her do the same. She looks at you, out from under the brim of her hat, with wide eyes, deep and dark like black buttons in her brown, weathered face. The cast of shadows rises up her body. She closes her eyes and nervously kisses you. Just lightly, her lips slightly wet and barely parted. Her hand touches your cheek. She softens, widens. The darkness blacks out you both.
Did I just score? So I don't know who's at this camp. Hey, it's Quinn. We haven't seen Quinn in a while. We got new stories for you. Oh. Oh my.
You seem an alright
What
sort,
the
stranger.
shit?
But there are some real bums out there, and I ain't talking about folks who are down on their luck.
What the shit happened to you, Quinn?
Got myself run off from a nice spot I done set all up a few miles back for winter. Ain't the first time I've been run off.
Right, but like, you're a fucking golem made out of like hands and wolves and teeth. What the shit?
Let me tell you about the bunch of Judases what raised me. I was oldest, had a brother and a baby sister.
Right, but you got like 5 hands at least.
The farm was small, but it weren't sad and all full of ruination in the early days. But I suppose my ma and pa couldn't make a go of it. When things started getting depressed and tight, every damn thing started to fall to pieces. First, they stole from us, money we'd been saving or earned, things they could sell. Then they abandoned my brother, letting him die instead of calling a doctor. Then they sent me on my way, saying they couldn't provide no more, that I was too big for 'em to keep. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
I mean, alright. The Silent Twins near Richmond, that seemed like a scary story, and I kind of want it to grow.
Wow.
All right, cool.
That's the stuff, stranger. Spooky campfire tales are my
Didn't move
favorite.
the eye at all, but you know, right type at least.
Being trapped. I've tried my best to make sense of it all. And from what I done seen, the more you have, the more you're tied down.
Right, are we gonna get back to this whole you got like 7 hands thing? And hideous teeth?
Responsibility to lash you to the ground so you can't move an inch. Playing a game only other folks are winning. Hey, tell me a funny story. You seem like you still got a sense of humor.
Alright, we got some funny stories. You know about the 8 men. No. Girl with the Basket of Kittens was a funny story. Let's see if there was anything else, just in case. Yeah, let's do the Basket of Kittens. That girl was fun. I don't think this is a bug. I mean, that's still the dogs,
I
Yenwei.
remember that one. A couple good jokes can get you out of a fix sometimes. Joy in my life. I used to be happy in that old farmhouse by the river, but it's all fuzzy now. Mostly I remember Mama and Daddy fighting over money, over the poor state of the farm. I want to hear a story about ghosts or murderers or something. Scary stuff.
I mean, have you looked in a mirror yet? Scary stuff. Alright, we got scary stories. The mill haunted by ghosts. Killer pigeons. Killer pigeons was a neat one. I want to see that grow.
You spin a good yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. Stranger, I try my best not to think on the past. This ain't my normal state of things. But,
I hope not.
you see, Cass ain't a very good conversationalist, and it's nice to have someone really listen to my story. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
Alright, thrilling stories. Alright. The cowboy rode into a storm. That was thrilling, right? Yeah, Yenwei, I don't think it's a
Well,
bug.
that was a lively tale.
Because they still got 2 dogs here, just like before.
Freedom. Will I ever be free, stranger? Is there even such a thing anymore? That train whistle means venture, new sights, more life. But prison comes in different shapes, don't it? I think I finally understand that now. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
Alright, I think the Bushwhacker's ghost was, we thought was exciting, but was actually, scary, right? We ought to find out.
You spin
Hey,
a good
cool.
yarn. I was shivering there for a little bit. I'll tell you about death. My brother, my little 7-year-old brother, slowly dying as they shouted back and forth about what to do, about money and hope and the Lord's protection. White as a ghost he was, and in terrible pain. Appendicitis ain't no easy way to die, stranger. I close my eyes and I can still see his little face, hurting and confused and praying for a miracle. How can I ever move on from that? Can't run from your own memories, though I surely have tried. Well, night's over. Didn't understand all your stories, but I'd hear more if I see you again on my travels. Look, I didn't mean to drag you down with my stories of misery and suffering or whatever, but you're a good listener. That's rare in a person, you know. But round you, I feel safe to tell the truth. Look, I'm heading up the road this way. Where are you going? I hope our roads cross again, friend.
I mean, I'm not headed there directly, but, I mean, alright. I feel like I was very much not ready for that, Quinn. So, story growing. You want to hear a good story? Stumbles quickly through a tale about a witch girl and her kitten familiars, confusing himself now and again, backtracking, adding new details out of order. Cool. That story's growing. Alright. Let's see. We came from Cincinnati. So, over here in Cleveland, there's stuff we haven't been to. The music is weird out here. It feels very Egypt-y, I guess. I don't know what actual Egyptian music sounds like, but it sounds like music in a video game that's trying to communicate, hey, desert world. I wonder, like, maybe it's because we're in the Dust Bowl and they're trying to create that kind of theme? I got no idea. Yeah, we'll stop by this fire. This should not be Quinn, this should be someone else. Franklin, I don't know a Franklin yet.
Why, hello there. Look like that's a heavy bag you're carrying. Let me get that for you. I insist. You see this uniform? It means you can trust me to make sure this is the most comfortable journey you've ever had in your life.
I mean, we're not on a train right now.
Who am I? Well, I'm no George, I'll tell you that. But that's not important. This trip is about you, friend. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good, happy story. You got any?
Yeah. We got the lighthouse lamp that only burns in the presence of true love. Used to just be a couple gay guys lived in a lighthouse.
Just like I told you, friend. Miles of smiles. Love. I try my hardest to put all my heart into my service. But truth be told, I've never seen anything more touching on a Pullman train than a maid who knows how to treat a little baby just right. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Yeah, I got exciting stories. I want to talk about the communist metal workers. Wait, no, that was hopeful. The fire after a poker game seems like that could be exciting, right? And I'd like to see that grow and learn a little bit more about what that story is.
Didn't I hear
Hey,
that
it's
story
exciting.
on the
Good.
radio? You told it better, though. Worrying about luck? Well, a porter is as reliable as any piece of machinery that makes sure this train runs on schedule. So there's no need to worry about something like luck.
We are not on a train, sir. I believe we are in a cornfield.
You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
I do, but you're weirding me out. Let's see. We got the Bushwhackers Ghost if we want to do that. Yeah, the Thunderbirds. I wanna see that one grow. That was a neat story.
Woo, that's a wild one, all right. Home is where we go back to. It's where we belong. But there's nothing wrong with spending a little time in the rest of the world every now and again. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
I do, but I feel like we've given you enough for our first meeting. We don't want to spend them all and have nothing next time we meet, right?
Another night over. I surely did enjoy all those stories, though. Maybe next time I'll let down my hair a bit. What do you say?
You kind of weird me out, guy.
You must excuse me, friend. What kind of porter am I saying this trip is all about you, only to start talking about my own damn self? But enough of my indulgences. I hope I see you again.
I mean, we could head back down there. Where are we on the map right now? Alright, well, we could go back to Pennsylvania, and we would meet, Mason again. I can't tell who that is under the thing, but I think it's that gambler lady whose name I just lost. I had it this morning. I think we'll go back and meet Franklin in a second. I don't want to head back
The
eastward.
car is a lifeline, your one hope to escape the encroaching storm. It rattles along a few yards ahead of the storm front, jouncing and juddering, one pothole away from being swallowed by the choking dust. A figure clings to support straps mounted on the back. You grab the straps and haul yourself up.
Oh,
Shouts the woman on the back.
a fellow observer.
She's wrapped in a scarf and aviation goggles, juggling a pen and a notebook while hanging onto the unsteady car. The dust scours your face and rips at your clothes.
Are these early storm chasers?
We're not done with our observations.
She threads one arm through the straps and makes another attempt to write, but it comes out illegible.
Blast it. Get inside and take dictation, will you?
Well, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't want to stay out in this.
You clamber through the open back window, and she hands you pen and notebook. You scribble furiously while she dictates the finer qualities of the dust and wind assaulting the car until her voice is hoarse.
That'll do.
She bangs on the roof.
Judith, let's go.
Huh. Am I still streaming? Alright, looks like. On my window showing the stream, it looked like it had cut out, but no, it looks like we're still good. Alright, fine. Well, I'm gonna head back down to that fire in by Columbus and talk with Franklin again. I'm more than willing to give him some more stories, I just don't want to throw good stories after bad, right? If everybody has a monstrous transformation, this is going to be some weird shit, right?
It's a funny thing. Someone looking right through you. But don't lie to me, friend. I know you want to know the truth, what it really means to be a porter.
I mean, I never asked, but if you're offering.
Well, I can tell you it's more than making white folks happy. That's just how it's supposed to look. But you go on so long being how you're supposed to, you're not quite sure how to go back to what you are. Though I suppose I can give it a try. You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Yeah, I got some exciting stories. Do we have anything that's, I think the Ancient Battles was, that hasn't evolved many times. Let's give him that. Hopefully it wasn't a scary one that I confused.
So, does
All right.
that one scare you? Not.
That's a scary story. Fine.
We porters have to leave the way we used to think behind. Before, we were all just worrying about how to make it through the next day, the next 10,000 miles. But together, we gotta put what's behind us, and keep it there. Now that we've got the brotherhood, we porters have a bigger future to think about. Anyway, I'm in the mood for a good happy story. You got any?
Yeah, I got some happy stories. What else we got? The seagulls who talk about where to find the best catch. Let's see that one get weirder.
Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. I guess the future's in our hands. Nobody had ever seen organized black folks before the Brotherhood came along. It's on us to make sure that's how it keeps on going.
So I don't know about this Brotherhood, but it sounds like a labor union for train porters, and I certainly want to look it up later. Maybe come back for another session, talk about it.
See, I spend a lot of time thinking, will we be the first black union or the only? You got any stories with a bit of excitement to them?
Yeah. Casey Jones, was that exciting? That might have been exciting, and we haven't evolved it one bit yet.
Whew, that's
Okay,
a
cool.
wild one, all right.
Didn't move him at all, but you know,
Travel.
it's out there. It'll evolve.
It's not just people riding on these railroads. See, most days I'll pick up a newspaper or a magazine or an album somebody left behind. Then I'll give it a read or a listen and maybe even sell it someplace where they don't know Bessie Smith yet. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
Yeah. Let's talk about the communist metal workers.
A positive attitude. That's what I like to hear. It's hard to have faith in a person if you never really know him. And let me tell you, it's hard to really know a quarterback. At least to know more than what he wants you to know. You can let him completely into your life, and he'll keep you in the dark about his. Have any optimistic tales? I'd like to hear one of those.
New York is a worker's paradise.
Just like I told you, friend, miles of smiles. Freedom. That's what the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters is about.
All right.
Getting our freedom.
Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters. I'll look it up.
Some folks in this country ain't too fond of unions, socialism, or anything that's got them scared somebody's gonna grab what's theirs.
I hear you.
And they're especially ornery when it's black folks organizing their labor.
Yep.
They think there's not enough freedom to go around. I guess we'll find out.
Guess so.
Another night over. I've got to get going. My journey takes me down the rails this way. But it was good talking to you.
You're all right.
And how'd you like that, Sharon? Our dark silhouette's a little easier to make out. Sooner or later, the whole world's got to know what we really are. And what's it really like. That's the only way we're really gonna matter to anyone besides ourselves. And now that you know the bad, doesn't the good sound that much better? Sharing goes both ways, though. Is your truth a little more complicated, too?
I mean, it's weird. I don't know that it's complicated. Cool, and Franklin's story grew. And another story grew up here also. What do we got? Old man growing a story. Tale about the arsonist who burns down gambling dens all over the country. So that was the story about the fire at the poker game. Okay. Gonna get to this road and I guess head north again. Try to hitch a ride. But you know, there's another campfire right here. And I don't know who has moved in here now. We might meet somebody new, so let's do that first, and then we'll hop the road north. Soup line, lady with a baby. Tell you about the miller who'd grind travelers to death on his millstone. So that's the haunted mill. That one got grisly. Okay, well, it's Quinn again. I didn't think I'd see you so soon. Oh, all right, yeah, there we go.
Hey, stranger. It's good to see you. I've been missing our talk since you and I last split. Been thinking how my family Judased me and how they did wrong by my little brother. Worrying there was maybe something else I could have done.
You're still
Here,
bothering the
sit
shit
with
out of
me.
me, dude.
I want someone to talk with about all this. Though I love them dearly, my dogs ain't such good talkers. Hey, do you got any really thrilling stories to tell? I'm hankering for one of those.
I think we already gave you several of them. Let's see. The arsonist who burned gambling dens. That was exciting.
Well, that was a lively tale.
Nice.
You talk about fate. I wonder sometimes if what was in them is in me too. That thing. Whatever it was that made my parents no good for people. I want a story that scares me. Now I'm older, almost nobody can do it. Give me your best shot.
We still got anything? Let's give him something low-key. And, the family of pig farmers, that had a ghost, and that hasn't evolved. So, let's see if that's scary.
That was a chuckle.
Alright, so that's a funny story.
Do
Gotcha.
you know anything more lively? You want to talk about trust. I surely did trust him, stranger. A mistake I don't aim to repeat.
What's interesting to me about Quinn is Quinn has been nursing a grudge about family for a long time. And when we finally learn what that grudge is, it's ultimately that they couldn't fix everything. That they didn't have the money to fix their kid. They didn't have money to feed everybody. They had to do horrible things that I'm sure they weren't proud of because they don't have any damn money. And Quinn looks at the family and sees that that's a moral failing. And man, that's rough. I mean, we can't like sit down and lecture and be like, look, it's not your family's fault, it's capitalism. But it's not your family's fault, it's capitalism.
What child ain't gonna trust their parents when times get hard and your whole world is a 5-mile stretch of muddy riverbank? Hey, tell me one of those exciting stories.
You know, we've filled you up, and I don't want to keep spending stories on you just yet. I'm afraid we're going to need to save some for you, because it might be hard to evolve you later.
My oh my, stranger. Listen to me blubbering on about my woes. I reckon it's something about you what brings it out of folks. You're searching for something great, something holy, aren't you? But you don't figure you're gonna find it.
I mean, definitionally, I am not going to find it.
And you wonder if it can't be found at all, or if it's just you that can't find it. Really eats at you, don't it? I can see it in you. Anyway, I best be getting on. I think I'll see what's happening up the road. Take care of yourself, stranger.
So that's Quinn's complete story, huh? All right. So, interesting thing, Quinn brought up, seeking things that can't be found. And we've talked about, the themes of where the water tastes like wine and of the Big Rock Candy Mountain and all of that. A brief moment as we expand this story here. The story of the Confederate ghost who haunts and murders Yankees. All right. So anyway, there's an achievement in this game called Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And it's achieved by finding the place where the water tastes like wine. If you look at the Steam achievements, the global stats for it, you'll see that 0% of people have achieved it. Now, even the hardest, most unlikely things on Steam end up having an achievement rate of between like 0.1 and 0.3% to account for like the fanatics and the people who use unlockers and stuff to cheat that. So the fact that it's 0.0, I mean, okay, like on one hand, the kind of people who play a game like Where the Water Tastes Like Wine may not be the kind of people that cheat their achievements much, but 0.0 to me says that achievement cannot be unlocked. And I know that from the demo of the Stanley Parable that it is possible to relock achievements, because that game would give you an achievement and then relock it. So I wonder if the game, like, if somebody unlocks it using a cheat or something, if the game relocks it later. That'd be interesting. If you can get it, it would make it the rarest achievement on Steam.
The driver mistakes your look for curiosity.
You want to see something interesting?
He asks, pointing to the trunk. He opens it. There's hundreds of metal tubes with little numbered screw-on caps sorted in wooden racks.
Well, what's that?
We've been surveying, he said. It's my job to study soil health. The trunk has a map taped to it, marked with numbered dots. I can show you the one from your hometown if you see it here.
I don't think my hometown is on the map because I am a skeleton.
It's an official-looking map, but the state borders and rivers are wrong. Half your county is missing. The surveyor offers you a coin for directions to your hometown, but his notes are funhouse mirror English writing. Fascinating, he murmurs. We learn so much from you folks.
Well, that's weird. What's up here in Detroit? We've got all the resources we need, so let's explore.
The rain is coming down so hard. It's a wonder the sidewalk hasn't started to crack. You manage to find a narrow patch under a ledge where you can stay dry. A squat man, bundled up in a black fur coat and matching hat, approaches. The thick rain flattens and mats his fur. He squints up at you.
You're in my spot.
He crows.
I mean, he's been here longer than us. He can have the spot.
He thanks you as you step aside, back into the rain. You keep walking, hoping to find more shelter. Now that you see the man from a distance, you're not sure the fur is a coat. A pair of red eyes shine back at you. The rain stops a minute later. You look back up the road, but the squat man is gone.
Huh. I don't know that one. I think this is probably a good place to let off. Detroit is a distinctly different vibe than where we've been going through so far. And I need to get to sleep because I have got work tomorrow. Because there is, I guess, no rest for a worker, am I right? Anyway, thanks for coming along. And this will be up in VODs later. So, yeah, thank you for being here. Later.